Hey guys, how is it going? It's Dmitry here, and today I'm going to discuss about really important topic in JavaScript. It's called synchronous versus asynchronous processes. And this particular topic, it should be a bread for every software developer, you know. You have to understand this topic, and you have to understand why we have these two specific types of processes, right? So let's jump into that, guys. So first of all, guys, what is asynchronous code, right? Asynchronous code, essentially, it's code that executed line by line from top to the bottom, right? In the order. So, and obviously, as it's executed, right, it just, going to perform step-by-step procedure. But what about asynchronous code? So obviously, asynchronous code, it also starts executing from the top and stops execution at the bottom. But during this execution process, some of parts of the code, for instance, some functions that we call, right, down the road, when we call some of the functions, and if in case these functions have to call, for instance, remote database or remote server, or basically we cannot be sure when exactly we receive any response from, or returning result, right? So in this case, guys, when this uncertainty exists, right, the process itself, it indicates that it's asynchronous. So again, guys, remember, as soon as this kind of uncertainty exists, when we finish execution of some block of code, or when, for instance, function is going at what time it's going to exactly return a result. When this uncertainty exists, it indicates that the process itself is asynchronous. It's not synchronous anymore, it's asynchronous. So guys, this part, it's really important to understand that. Okay guys, let's jump into some examples. And I'm going to show you really basic examples in order to explain you really in as basic way as possible what the difference between these two processes, types of processes. Okay, let's define first variable. I'll call it first name, Dmitry. Then second variable, I'll call it obviously last name, key. Then another one, and I will define the age. Come on. So guys, now I just would like to log them out, right? Console.log. So, and then last name, obviously all of them. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run this code, right? It's a basic code, nothing special about this one, right? But guys, what you have to understand, that this piece of code, right, or this block of code, essentially the whole piece of code, it's synchronous, because it starts executing from the top, right, and it stops executing at the bottom. And each and every line of this code executed before the other, from the top till the bottom. For example, this code is executed first, only after that this code is going to be executed, then this one, and so forth and so on. So, and as a result, this is the last piece of code that's going to be executed. And that's why you can see it's Dmitry key 32, right? Like all this, it's from the top till the bottom. That's how it is, guys. And again, this is the synchronous process, right? So let's move on to another example, and I'm going to move on to asynchronous types of process, right? So let's stick, by the way, let's stick with the same variables, but this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a function. Okay, I will call it asynchronous. I hope I spelled it correctly. Sorry, English guys. So guys, set timeout, this function actually, it's a synchronous function, right? And you know how you usually can define synchronous functions or identify that function is synchronous. Usually asynchronous functions, they take, or we have to pass another function to these functions, right, as a parameter. So that's how it is, or callback functions. So okay, anyway, let's move on, and okay, set timeout, and now I'm going to pass callback, and I'm going to log out some stuff. Okay, let's say returned after 1000 milliseconds. Sweet. So, and here I'm going to define the actual delay, right? So guys, idea of this set timeout function, you passing callback function, and then the second parameter that you pass in is the actual delay time, right? Or time of delay. So that's why it's called set timeout, right? This is the actual time that's going to be delayed. So guys, and this is the actual function. This function is going to imitate a synchronous process, right? Because we have to wait for 1 second when this function is going to execute something, right, or return something. So, and that's really important to understand. But in real life, in the real world, if you call in, for instance, a remote server, and if you requesting for a huge chunk of data, sometimes it would take some time, right, to execute it, and you have no idea how much time it would take, right? If your internet is slow, right, or maybe there are some other processes that would interrupt the actual process, right? So that's why in real life, it can be up to 2 seconds, 3 seconds, or more than that, right? And this kind of processes, again, we call them asynchronous processes. So guys, let's see what will happen here. And I guess before that, let's just specify a couple of logs. First, I would like first name, again last name, and then age. So guys, let's see what will happen here when we execute it. Okay, nothing happens here, right? And nothing happens here because we need to call this function, right? Asynchronous. Otherwise, we're not going to log out anything or return anything, right? So guys, once again, let's execute it. See guys, what happened, right? Even so, this function right? The code itself sitting before this piece of code, right? It's still what executed later on, right? Even if we do different stuff, right? Like that. Let's just move it even over here, right? Above. It's still going to be the same outcome. Here we go, right? Because it takes some time, right? Because I had this time delay, right? And that's the idea, guys, of asynchronous code. What happened is, the JavaScript, it goes line by line, right? It goes here. Okay, let's execute this one. Yeah, executing that. Then it's coming to here. Sorry, it's coming like to here, to this function. Oh, this function, it will take some time to execute it, right? It's not going to be executed like immediately, right? So, and then it's going to just postpone this function, right, for a certain amount of time. And in this case, yeah, time is kind of predefined, right? But the most important thing is this piece of code, it's not going to be executed immediately. It's going to be delayed. The execution of this code is going to be delayed. But instead of just executing this code, JavaScript will go, further, right? It will start, or it will continue execution of this line and line by line again, right? Till the bottom. And then when everything is executed, right? All the code is executed, then it's going, still waiting for this piece of code, right? And then when this code is executed, then process is done, right? But the most important thing is, again, this piece of code, because like this delay indicate the process of execution of this code, it's going to be asynchronous. And JavaScript understands that the difference between synchronous type of processes versus asynchronous, right? And it's kind of understand that, all right, first I need to execute, asynchronously everything, and then first I have to execute synchronously everything, and then I'm going to execute asynchronous part of the code. And that's how it is, guys. Guys, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover, and hopefully, guys, you got it. Guys, it's really, really important topic. Please watch it again if you didn't get it, because it would be difficult for you to write really intellectual software without understanding this topic, and you will come up with many bugs in the code, and later on you would just struggle to understand why it's not working, right? And that it can be the problem, because some of the code is asynchronous, right? And guys, later on we're going to discuss about all these solutions. You have to use so-called promises, or like there are also different ways how you can write them nowadays. You have to write promise, and then you have to the promise have to be resolved, and the resolution itself, it's like a it's going to be a returning thing, right? That's the actual stuff that the function would return, for instance, and that's the process itself. It's called resolution, right? So guys, we're going to discuss about all these things in the future, and trust me, it's a really interesting topic on itself. Yeah. I will see you guys next time. Please like this video if you like it, and please follow me, and also guys, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and hope you appreciate my work. I'm trying my best. See you guys next time, and have a good one. Bye bye.